The Theft That Wasn't. Written by Johnny Fist. He walked out of the store having bought nothing and having asked neither the salespeople nor the consultants for any advice. He simply passed through the turnstile, through the doors, and headed for the exit. He always enjoyed that thrilling feeling. Leaving a store without a single purchase, half expecting the turnstile to beep and announce that he had taken something without paying. What made it even better was the look from the security guards who followed him with their eyes. Followed him, a man leaving with nothing. He knew he hadn't bought anything, but they didn't know that. You feel like a criminal, and they feel like you might be a criminal. And that look, you haven't done anything, yet you're already guilty. And then, you leave the store. You didn't take anything. The guard didn't stop you. The turnstile didn't beep. You feel as if you fooled the system, as if you found some loophole that only you were clever enough to exploit, when in reality you simply walked out of a store without buying anything. Sebastian did this often. He would enter stores, wander around for a while, and then leave without buying anything. You know, before the internet existed, elderly people had a similar pastime. Going to the bank cashier just to pay bills, they could sit there for hours simply to pass the time and talk to someone. The process itself was exciting, while the actual result took almost no time. Sebastian had found his own version of that pastime in the digital age. While others ordered things online with home delivery, he never did. There was something pleasant about entering a store, touching the goods, examining things, trying something on. Sometimes the excitement even gave him butterflies in his stomach. Good thing many of those stores had free restrooms. One of the peculiar features of Sebastian's excursions was the stories. He loved telling his friends about them. If your life lacks cinematic tricks or drama, here is an excellent method invented by Sebastian. You may be an ordinary clerk, an accountant, or anyone whose life seems uneventful, but when you walk into a store, you can become a secret agent doing everything possible to avoid being caught. Yes, that was exactly how Sebastian imagined it. And to keep the sensation sharp, one must avoid visiting the same store repeatedly. Although there were exceptions, for example, a large supermarket, let's say IKEA. Sebastian walks in. He looks no different from any other visitor of the store chain. Neither his clothes nor his appearance stand out. He strolls between the aisles, looking at chairs, tables, beds. Then he moves to the lamp section, switches one on, then another, then a third. He inspects the lighting fixtures, then walks toward the pillows. And so it goes for another 15 minutes. But while doing this, he is carefully watching where the cameras are placed. He tracks their direction and convinces himself that every single one of them is following him, monitoring his movements. It doesn't matter how many people are in the store. All of them are watching him. Have you stolen anything? Did you hide something under your shirt? He turns his back to the cameras, trying to hide his face. Now he stands near the sunglasses. He tries one pair, then another, then a third. None of them suit him, but the cameras keep watching. They remain in their places. He puts everything back and heads toward the exit. Walking along the rows of cash registers, lines at every one of them, but he has no need for those. He needs the exit without purchases. That's where he goes. As he approaches, he looks at the security guards. They seem tense, at least it appears so to him. They know something. They must have seen everything on the surveillance cameras. Perhaps they received instructions over the radio. Keep a close eye on him. Don't lose sight of him. And the moment the turnstile beeps, grab him. Sebastian doesn't slow down. If anything, he speeds up a little. He throws sideways glances at the guard. That was a mistake. All thieves do that. He tries to appear calm, but it isn't going very well. His heart beats faster, the butterflies in his stomach flap their wings harder, and the turnstile grows closer. He reaches it. He passes the guard. He passes the turnstile. No beep. They have nothing on him. He is clean. Clean because he took nothing. Yet to him it feels like the greatest heist of the century. He fooled them, took nothing, and still wasn't caught. Oh, if he played poker, he would bluff magnificently. But instead he walks through stores. This store, however, was not fully worked. Yes, it was better to visit different stores so the feeling wouldn't fade, but imagine what would happen if you appeared regularly in the same place, and security kept failing every time. Sebastian liked that idea. A week later, he returned to the same IKEA. The scheme was identical, only the aisles were different. He walked around again, watching the cameras. They surely noticed he was back. It never crossed his mind that thousands of people passed through the store every day and no one remembered him. He was certain the cameras and guards had tensed up the moment he crossed the threshold. They recognized him. Across all security posts the message had surely gone out. "He's here!" All eyes were on him. He entered the children's toy department, picked up nearly everything there, then moved to the bedding section and touched almost every item. The 15 minutes allocated for this operation had passed. Time for the escape with the loot. He walked toward the exit, again catching the gazes of guards and cameras. Even more strongly now, he felt that they were watching only him. For the security staff, there was no one else in the store, only him and his crime. He approached the exit. From afar he noticed that the same guard from the previous week was standing there. He definitely remembered him. Now he would surely pull him aside and ask to see what was in his pockets. Of course this was IKEA, not a candy store. It was unlikely that a budget wardrobe would fit inside a pocket. But Sebastian wasn't thinking about that. He was a criminal, because that's what Iron Man once told Captain America. Now Sebastian took that personally. Closer and closer to the exit, he aligned with the guard. His eyes involuntarily flicked toward him. The guard looked extremely suspicious. Sebastian was certain an arrest was inevitable. The butterflies in his stomach were dancing the can-can and seemed ready to burst out during their performance. The turnstile. Silence. Saved. Once again he had outplayed the system. He stepped outside and turned his head one last time to look at the guard. He had beaten him. 2-0. They had failed to expose him, even though there was nothing to expose. But they didn't know that. His heart pounded in his chest from excitement. The veins in his neck bulged. He was sweating. Oh yes, this was what it was worth living for. But he should probably stay away from this place now. Next time they would surely catch him. There would be a reason. He stole nothing, but behaved far too boldly. Bold. That was the word Sebastian had been searching for to describe himself. He was a bold criminal. No reason to stop now. There were so many stores in the city that still needed to experience his audacious crimes. No point in keeping them waiting.